Good day and welcome to your favorite program, The Conversation, coming to you live from TV 360 here in Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Nelson Ekujumi, and I have here with me in the studio on The Conversation, Alesta Wilcox, FCA. Alesta, good evening and welcome. Good day and welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Nelson. It's a pleasure being here with you.
Yes, in this edition of the program, we are going to look at a wide range of public issues that is in the front burner of public discourse. And the top of the agenda today on this program, The Conversation, is the proposed NLC strike. We recollect that on February 8th, the Nigerian Labour Congress issued a 2-week ultimatum to the federal government to either fulfill the part of the bargain from the last agreement reached, or it will embark on a nationwide strike. NLC has even called for a 2-day protest. And before we came into the studio, we were privy to the admonition or advertorial from the State Security Service, DSS, calling on NLC and CUC to shelve the strike in the interest of national security. And on this program, we want to x-ray the strike. Is it necessary for the NLC to go on strike? Because as a people, it has become a recurring decimal that at every point of engagement between the labor unions and the government, it is always this resort to strike. And for some of us, the issue of strike is becoming weary, to our souls, if you ask me, that we are asking, is there no other alternative or options open to the NLC to pursue its demand? Yes, we agree that strike is a legitimate weapon by labor unions, but it must be a means of last resort. And again, we want to ask, is it that the government is unwilling to fulfill those agreements, or there are some encumbrances hindering the implementation, which one expects that based on the relationship between labor and the government, one expects that labor should have been talking with government before coming, to the public space to threaten a nationwide strike. And again, do we need a nationwide strike at this point in time when, all hands should be on deck to arrest the challenging times that we are all in? Because we have seen the NLC president, make some statements. If you ask me, those statements are statements that are unbecoming of the #1 labor leader. You expect that in this time, when all hands should be on deck, like I stated earlier on, the labor unions should rather be looking at ways to organize, forum whereby we can agitate solutions to the myriad of problems confronting the Nigerian state. I don't think this is a time we need to go on any strike, because the Nigerian people are economically challenged. And going on strike by the labor union at this point in time will further worsen the condition of the average worker in Nigeria. We must not forget that almost 90% of our workforce are in the semi-formal or informal sector. What does that mean? These are people who earn daily living. If the workers are not going to work on these 2 days, a lot of people who are driving commercial vehicles or who are using other means of transportation will be deprived of their access to livelihood. A lot of our women who have to go to the market to get foodstuffs, that they must, sell on a regular basis, will be affected, because who knows, the transport, might join in the strike and they will not be able to access, market. So if you ask me, I will tell you frankly that this is a strike that the labor union must be prevailed upon to shelve in the interest of national peace and security. I'm not in tune with this strike at this point in time, because the Nigerian people are going through a lot, and any responsible organization should, if you cannot lessen the burden of the people, I don't think it is right to worsen their plight. That is my take on this program. My brother here, Lester Wilcox, he has his own opinion to this issue.
Nelson, if you ask me, like you asked me already, the question I will ask is, what are the demands that is warranting the strike?
The proposed strike.
The proposed strike. What are the mechanisms, what are the dead ends of these demands that will necessitate, like you said, strike is supposed to be a last resort after every other
means has failed to achieve result.
And I'm not aware in recent times that there has been any engagement between Labour and government that after the last
that resulted in a deadlock that will warrant
a strike.
I'm also not aware.
Because like you said, Labour is supposed to be a wealth creator. That is what Labour is.
Yes, absolutely.
That's
the motto of Labour.
As a factor of production. It's a wealth creator, not a wealth destroyer. Unfortunately, Nigerian Labour Congress, in recent times, has considered themselves as a wealth destroyer rather than a wealth creator. What do I mean? This every penchant for strike, even on issues that hitherto they were supported. Let me say this. I mean, I remember during the election, the Labour Union supported a particular candidate. And all the three candidates, the three major candidates, talked about removal of fuel subsidy. Even the own candidate that Labour supported, finance, put their head out for. All people talked about it. But the moment this government removed fuel subsidy, Labour talked about going on strike, and in fact threatened and went on strike. For the same thing that they supported during the bed, because it was not being done by the person that they supported. So that will tell you that most of Labour's action is more political, sometimes ethnical, than really agitating for the welfare of the people. Now, again, we have Nigerian Labour Congress. Now, why calling a general strike? Because if you are calling a strike, you call a strike against who offends you. Now, those issues that are being discussed, are they federal government issues?
They are issues affecting every tier of government.
Are they state government issues? Are they, if you are seeing the show, do minimum wage, the minimum wage cut across every
and even the organized private sector.
Including organized private sector. So, have you come to a point where some of the things that you are asking for has been dead end? And then, secondly, have you also gauged the economy to see that, okay, this is what we are asking for. There is availability of funds, the timing is ripe, and it is not being done. So these are some of the, like I said, it's a well created. So Labour Congress in Nigeria, with due respect to those who call the show,
the forefathers.
No, I'm talking about the current Labour Congress. They have made themselves not to be appealing to Nigerians anymore.
I can't agree less with you.
They have made themselves not to become antagonistic, rather than advancing the true cause of the people. Now, let's look at it this way. Sometimes Labour would say they want minimum wage. Minimum wage will be approved. Federal government will pay. Most state government will not pay. Labour will not attack, will not go after those states. As of today, some states are not paying 30,000 naira. And Labour is not after them. Right? Labour will keep attacking federal government on every issues. In order, is it subversive or what?
You know, for me, I listened to a Labour leader, and the Labour leader was like, some states are not paying, some organizations are not paying. Yes, so, and I'm like, is it that these other Nigerians in these states, in this organization, they are less Nigerian than the workers in the federal sector?
Yes.
Because when you are going on strike over issues you have with the federal government,
yes,
is that strike going to affect only federal area of jurisdiction?
Exactly.
Because I don't know which Nigerians are called federal Nigerians, and some of us are called state Nigerians or local Nigerians.
Exactly.
So I expect, as we are seated here, I expect that Labour is not only about creating wealth through strength, it's also about creating wealth through ideas.
Yes.
So I expect that at every point in time, like you have rightly said, Labour's action of late has not appealed to a vast majority of Nigerians, including yours sincerely. You expect that when Labour has any issue on the front burner, Labour should aggregate its position so that Nigerians themselves we have a buy
into it.
Rather, you saw during the last strike where labor leaders went into offices and were using horsewhip to drive people out. You know, it should not be, that is a resort to violence.
You see, let me say this. Unfortunately, even the way we organize strike in Nigeria is totally different from the way it is done in other climes. Now, in the UK, they've been having strikes. It is only those who agree. There will be a picketing line. There will be a line. Those who agree to be part of that strike will not cross the line. Those who do not agree, who wants to work, will enter and work. That is how it is done everywhere. Even if you call strike today of doctors, it is those who subscribe. That is the democratization of even the system. Now, you said last time they have to go to forcefully make people to join the strike.
Yeah. Close down,
so
lock down.
So is that not called anarchy?
Absolutely.
Doesn't the government have a right to protect this? You see,
yes.
Unfortunately, we play a lot in this country. Unfortunately, there has been so much breakdown of governance structure and law and order that everyone now takes law into his hand. Who are you to go and force somebody to do what he or she does not want to do?
Yeah.
So, in that case, then the state too has also failed for that duty of protection against citizens.
Because where your right stops,
so that's where my
own begins.
I don't want to join your strike. You can't force me to join your strike if I don't feel convinced. And that is how labor, everywhere in the world operates. And Nelson, labor unions are supposed to be well created, like I said.
Yes, absolutely.
Please, tell me one contribution Nigeria Labour Congress and TUC. Tell me one contribution, economic contribution they have done with all the huge resources available to them. Please show me one factory that they own that is making production of goods and services. Listen, hold on. Show me one farm. Today we are having food crisis. Labour has a vast number of members. Labour is cut across every sector.
They have cooperative societies and what have you. Yeah.
Please show me the farm.
Why can't they go into farming as a union?
And I keep making this an example. Labour was supposed to have run one of the best transport systems in Nigeria. In 1988, the Bangladesh administration gave 50 million. You know what 50 million was in 1988? To establish the Labour Transport Company. Yeah. Where is it today? The same time that Ghana started the State Transport Company of Ghana. Today, the State Transport Company of Ghana is one of the best run land transport companies in Africa. Still running today and what? Where is the Labour owned?
He's no more in
existence. No. In fact, never in existence.
And Nigerians are not asking questions.
Are not asking questions. And tomorrow, somebody will wake up and be telling you, government is this, government is not, government is in the future, government, and you cannot run transport. Look, if that Labour transport, I'm pained by it. If that Labour Transport Company has ran all these years, by today, it will have multiplied. It will have multiplied, and there will have been.
It will have created a lot of jobs.
A lot of wealth. In fact, when people are talking about transport increase, they could be running on a
yes,
and then be bringing succor to the people. All what we're having now is BRT, they will have started running it all this while.
Absolutely, they will have become a role model.
They become a role model
for private
investors. But where are they? All they do is to collect check-up dues, eat fat, feed fat, make noise with their collaborators in government or in the corridor of power. They are being settled, they are bribed today, they are being settled tomorrow. They go back and create more noise with their collaborators in the corridor of power. They share money. That's all I see them do. Because as far as I'm concerned, now we're in a crisis emergency. I don't even know why the government has not declared economic emergency. Well, so I think the labor needs to. We need to really come back to our senses if we really need a labor union in Nigeria.
Honestly, you cannot say it better than this because one has been privileged to speak to a lot of Nigerians are not even aware that labor is threatening strike. That shows you how detached they are from the ordinary man on the street that they claim they are supporting. I think labor needs to have a rethink. They have to have a reset of their mindset to be in tune with the people. On this proposed strike, I don't think it is necessary at all. Labor should be prevailed upon to shelve this strike and allow things to take a shape gradually. The agitation over whatever grievances they have with the government can be settled, within the confines of the boardroom. And this is what we're admonishing Labour to do. It is on this note that we want to call it a day on this first stanza of the program. We'll be right back. Please continue to watch the conversation coming to you from TV 360 here in Lagos, Nigeria. We'll be right back. Please stay tuned.